Hello! Welcome to another Broken Binding unboxing with Housing Pillars of Peace by Tom Dumbrell. And I think that's supposed to be 142. That's a pretty sad looking one, but we're gonna find out. Tape on this one's actually held up, which is the first Broken Binding one in a while. Prepare for your next adventure, in which the tape held up. So, the new packaging, if you've watched any of my videos, now has this kind of paper space holder. I don't like. It's like crinkle paper, not really bubble wrap, but there are layers to this. Whoa! Look at all those. Look at all that. Making sure the book is nice and protected. Hopefully it is, but we shall see. Then it's bubble wrap to boot. Wafer sticker this time, just saying the Broken Binding because Tom Dumbrell doesn't get a fancy sticker like the other ones do. A lot of the other ones have their own sticker for, what was the first law, or whether it was Babel. Babel had its own special packaging. That one I did unbox, but the video didn't quite work because my phone was being dumb. So I apologize on that. No Babel for you. But instead we have the Pillars of Peace by Tom Dumbrell. This is a trilogy. It's an omnibus of his Pillars of Peace trilogy. 3 titles. The first one I think is The Look of the King. I don't recall what the other 2 titles were because I didn't want to get any spoiler territory on the other titles. But I believe this is the first time they're in hardcover. Tom Dumbrell was an independently published author for his 3 titles. And I believe they were all just independently published in paperback. So I could be mistaken on that, but I believe this compiled collector's edition is the first time in hardcover. Nice kind of black sprayed edges. No dinged corners from what I could see. This one doesn't look too hot, but we're going to see with the dust jacket off. Tom Dumbrell. Dead kings don't wear crowns. 1, The Look of the King. 2, No Place for Peace. And 3, Where Heroes Were Born. So it's almost kind of got like a Tale of Two Cities vibe from what I read from the description of the first one. Where Cyrus is a storyteller frustrated by the mundane trappings of village life, and Prince Augustus struggles to meet the high expectations. And then both of them are kind of, their paths collide when war attacks the nation of East Haven, which is their nation. It kind of sounds like a medieval kind of setting. Tom Dumbrell, he's over in Essex, which is kind of fun because Essex Dogs was a recent unboxing I just did that they also did through Broken Binding. Anyways, hardcover edition. That is dark. Whoa, all right. So we got like, it almost looks like it would be on the face of a card, like a tarot card perhaps. You got kind of a 2-headed, one head facing up, one facing down. One's kind of getting bled on by the throne. The other one's getting bled on by a sword. That's, it's kind of dark, and I'm all for it. That's awesome. Kind of plain, nothing too fancy on the back other than my pasty white fingers leaving marks, but that's because that's how I am. Plain black M papers, but hey, I'm looking at this and thinking how much more black could it get, and the answer is none. None more black. I did read, okay, I was a 1. I do have 142. I did see online that the signature leaves a little bit to be desired. That's Tom Dumbrell's signature. There's more detail in the date than the signature, but all right, The crazy thing is he's actually a new author. This was his debut trilogy. So, we got a nice little letter in here. Special edition of the Pillars of Peace. Very nice. And there's his signature again. This one's being a facsimile of his little letter. That's in the collector's edition. Look of the King. For Brianna, without whom these books would be shit. I love it. So yeah, this is 3 books. And the books must be smaller titles, because, the font, we still got some decent page margins up in the top and the bottom. The font isn't necessarily, really tiny. But the whole thing is still under 1,000 pages. There we go. You get into the About the Author section with the 867, the end. So there you go. Probably 200-something pages a piece. Maybe one that is closer to 300, but not quite 300. That's it's a hefty beast. It's a hefty boy. This was limited to, what does it say, 300? It wasn't many. It was a smaller limitation. Yeah, 300 copies, of which this is 142, so kind of right there in the middle. But yeah, I mean, I like omnibuses in general. They kind of suck to read, but I like having them for collector's sakes. Grimbook Press does some great omnibuses of the Mark Lawrence titles. So really cool to get a nice omnibus treatment for Tom Dumbrell series here. Very much looking forward to reading this. They say it's kind of like, you know, coming of age, but coming of age meets grimdark, which is an interesting combination for me. But I like some grimdark. I can't wait. And it doesn't look like it's, maybe it's because it's just the headband there. The headband and tailband. It doesn't look like you're, I mean, it probably is glued. But it doesn't look as bad as some of the previous titles looked from Broken Binding. Like the end of the first Law trilogy, it was like the binding was quite literally breaking already. And that wasn't very good. But this looks like it's held up pretty good. It's very much looking forward to diving in. I'll let you know what I think when I actually read it. My TBR pile is a lot larger than I would hope for, but that's just how life is. Anyways, thank you to Broken Binding for this beautiful edition. Shout out to Tom Dumbrell. A link in the description below where you can pick up paperback copies of this collection, because this hardcover collection is sold out. Although Broken Binding did say that at the end of the month, this is currently October, what was that picture? At the end of October, they were going to do kind of an out-of-print sale where they had out-of-print titles or titles that had sold out or might be dinged, and they were going to sell them, whatever copies they had left, some for a reduced price, a lot for just like what the regular price was. Oh, there are some illustrations. Look at that. Okay. Very nice. Once again, incorporating black. So you can check out the Broken Binding site for when that sale happens, because I believe they are going to have some other copies of this omnibus, Pillars of Peace Collector's Edition. That's just the cover of the book, not quite an illustration. So I'm just kind of flipping through now, seeing if we have any other illustrations. But oh, was that's past one? Or did I blink? That's a weird thing to say. Like, did I blink? Did I just miss it? Am I hallucinating? I don't know. Oh, there was one. Okay, we got little illustrations here. Nothing too crazy, but, you know, still illustrations nonetheless. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and we will see you around next time.